Hi, good evening. Welcome to this edition of Weekly Musings, and this is the BGT special. And today, the third test between Australia and India at Indore concluded after both teams played out around 188 overs, 30, 31 wickets, and 465 runs. That's what the team scored. So, somewhere we need to ask a question to ourselves: where are the teams heading from there to Ahmedabad, and with what mindset both teams are going into the series? Australia has done a comeback, and this test, from a spectator perspective, looked like a watershed. ICC, rightly in its match report, the ICC referee has recommended for three demerit points to Indore Stadium, and BCCI has to learn a lesson. When they decided to shift the venue from Dharmshala to here, when the itinerary was decided for Dharmshala, how come the BCCI did not know the ongoing civil works in Dharmshala? And why did they even shift it to Indore? And why Indore was chosen when knowing fully well the tracks are unprepared and there has been the association has not been right. Similarly, the original match which was supposed to be played in Indore, the Irani Trophy final, was shifted to Gwalior, and there you see a good amount of bat and ball contest there, where at least 500 runs are scored by rest of India team. So Gwalior venue was not ready for a Irani trophy, and in the same period of time in which Indore was decided, Gwalior could be made ready for a decent enough even contest between bat and ball. But whereas Indore was turned out to be a batsman's nightmare. No batsman could stick on at the wicket for more than 150 balls. So it's a sad story on Test cricket where we expect at least at least 3.5 to 4 days of game, if not more, a minimum of 10 to 12 sessions out of the 15 for a team to really show their skills both with the bat and ball on the field. But unfortunately, this test turned out to be a nightmare for the batsman and a statistical paradise for bowlers because few of the bowlers looked out of the world with their analysis. For example, look at Todd Murphy. Whatever the 17 overs bowled, he hardly considered, not even 20 runs he considered. So 17 overs a bowler bowls and batsman cannot even score 20 runs of those 17 overs tells you enough about the quality of this. Indian batters, for all their overhyped batting lineup, they could not play more than no batter throughout could put up a partnership for beyond 10 overs in both Indian innings put together. In the Indian first innings, the collapse was so terrible. It looked as though the batsmen were just not there physically on the field and they were just sleeping and they just walked into bat and they got out and they went out. So it's a bad day's work on field for India and pathetic display of batsmanship. And I don't think there was any application from Indian batsman side, even one of them could not even show his application. Yes, Pujara did something in the second innings where he played for 142 balls. But whereas for Australians, all their bowlers looked invincible, Indian bowlers, on the other hand, were pretty average. Lucky that they got wickets, but unfortunately, only Umesh Yadav with the ball looked the right kind of spell. None of the others bowled that kind of a spell. Yes, Ashwin on the second day morning did bowl once brief spell where those 6 wickets fell for 11 runs. That's all. Apart from that, Ashwin never dominated the ball batsman throughout the test match. And in the second innings, there was hardly any runs to be chased by Australia. And even if they were to just stand there without doing anything and leaving all the balls and just defending those balls which were coming on the stumps, Indians would have considered enough 76 runs to do leg by set boys. Can you imagine a total of 109? The highest scorer was Virat Kohli with 22 after playing around 50 odd balls in the first innings. And then joint highest scorer in that innings of 109, okay, were 3 4 batsmen put together. Means everybody got into 7, 8, 10, 12. It looked as though an amateur team was playing. Whereas Indians conceded 22 extras in the first innings of England. When England scored 197, they conceded 22 extras with 5 no balls. Bowling a no ball itself is a crime, and bowling 5 no balls with spinners operating, okay, out of which 2 were bowled by Siraj and 3 were bowled by Jadeja. And it's Jadeja has got wickets. But if you ask me very clearly, Indian bowlers were pathetic in their very pretty average in their length and line compared to the Australian bowlers. Australian bowlers had a commitment, they knew what they were doing, and Indian batsmen had no clue. They didn't have the defense, they didn't have good defense, they didn't have good attack. All that they had was lame excuses at the end of the day. If you really closely observe throughout what has happened, the overhyped Indian batting lineup, which bats up to number 9, though it built them out, the lower order built them out in the first 2 test matches of the series. In the third test, their entire batting prowess, when the lower order did not come to party, their entire batting lineup stays exposed. That horrible shot played by some of the batsmen trying to charge the bowlers when the ball was turning is really, really pathetic. It simply tells that they were mentally not prepared to fight the demons in the wicket. They had to just apply themselves at the wicket, which they did not. And then we talk about home condition advantage. What home condition advantage when you cannot provide entertaining and even contest between bat and ball, even for one session throughout this test match? I think it's a sad commentary on where these bilaterals are. And the World Test Championship, I sincerely feel whatever the performance India has done of the 15 tests that they played, they have lost 5 and they won 10, and they don't deserve to be in the World Test Championship final. They are not the team who are world class. They are not. They have limited amount of ability to put up competitive fight. And the same Indian spinners who look extremely invincible on the home condition are really speaking are not really worth their salt when they are attacked. And let me tell you, both Jadeja and Ashwin are pretty ordinary in this test match. And I'm not mincing my words when I say they were far too casual in their approach when it comes to they were not serious. It so happened that the batsman got out, but otherwise there were no plotting of wickets by the spinners. It just happened that they were bowling and few balls were on the length and the batsman got out to their mistakes of misreading the length of the ball. Otherwise, I cannot think of even one single dismissal other than the three wickets of Umesh Yadav, where he demonstrated a beautiful reverse swing late in the innings to wipe off the first innings of Australians. I don't think that the match had anything else to offer to anyone. I don't know how it can be a benchmark with indoor pitch getting three demerit points. I don't even understand with what face the Indian team management can even say that it was a fair game. It's so unfortunate that a richest cricketing board in this world does not have the capacity to put up a team which can compete very equally with the visiting teams without taking the help of ranked turners. It tells you volumes about the skill inadequacy in this current Indian team. It is not a team which can be compared to the great teams of the 2010s where Sehwag's, the Gangulis, the Dravid and Lakshman lineup. They fought against the Australians, but there was a lot of spice in the pitch, and those test matches went on for 4 or 5 days. But here, these test matches getting over in 2 days, I don't know. Somewhere deep within, it gives me a sinking feeling that Indians are losers, and that's why they have resorted to this kind of home advantage strategy. It is not good for cricket, it is not good for test cricket, nor it is good for the players themselves because they, the so called bigwigs of Indian batting lineup, they all they all got exposed in the series adequately from inexperienced Australian spin attack. Other than Nathan Lyon, others just had made their debuts in the series and they put this top class, the so called world beaters of this Indian batting lineup and exposed their inadequacies to play them straight on a turning track. And what more can I say about this pathetic performance? Indian fielding was pretty average throughout the series so far. So it doesn't make sense to even talk about the series as a overhyped reaction. I think Indians have outlived their. It's high time Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli retire from Test cricket, and I think they have done enough for the country. They may have some more years left in them. I think let them concentrate on white ball and leave the test career to a team of youngsters who are in the waiting and let India rebuild a new team with a new captain and remove both Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli should go out gracefully from the test series at the end of the WTC series championship this year. I don't think that India deserves to be in WTC final. Even if they go there, probably the weather will not permit a 5 day game, knowing very well the dates that have been announced. There will be rain in UK at that point of time, and this year there is going to be pretty heavy rains during that period as per the forecast. Mark my words, that World Test Championship Test Championship final will have a lot of weather intervention. And I'm telling you, even with the extra day that they have thought of, I will tell you that's going to be a no-brainer. And India will be vanquished all ends up in case they qualify and play this Australian attack on the England conditions. These people don't deserve because they are not going to play any more red ball game till the WTC final after the Ahmedabad test. So, somewhere deep within, it gives me a feeling that this Indian team, overhyped to a level that it looks as though they are the world beaters. But in reality, out of the 15 matches, when you have lost 5, I don't think that you have the credibility to claim that you are the number 2 side in this world. You are not. You are simply been fortunate and lucky enough to be number 2 because others played equally badly in the tournament. It's not a fitting it's not a fitting fight between two great teams in Test cricket. This is a fight between two unequal teams in terms of their cricketing skills and cricketing strategies. Thank you very much. Thanks for listening.